Michele from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be creating this card using stamps and layering stencils. You guys know how much I love layering stamps and layering stencils, and this is a little bit different. This is a stamp that you can use by itself and just color it in, or you can stamp it and then use the coordinating stencils to color it in with ink. These make for very quick and easy but beautiful cards. So to start off, I'm going to stamp out the main image in some MFT Extreme Black ink. Since it's the first time that I'm going to use it, I am going to stamp it several times because I didn't get a great impression on the first time. I didn't condition the stamp. So that usually, I mean, I just rub my hand over it, but usually I'll put Versamark on the image and then stamp it in black so that you can, that conditions the stamp. And I will have to apologize about Lucy being on the left side of the screen. She refused to move. She loves laying underneath the lights that I have up there, and I wanted to craft. She didn't want to move, so we compromised. So you will see her butt, or the side of her, in a lot of this video, so I do apologize. So here's the layering stamp set. This is the Peonies Bunch layering stencils from Hero Arts, and they are super easy to use and line up once you realize the direction of your image. It took me a couple seconds to do it, but once I do line it up, it's so easy, and it's almost, I said this in the haul video that I did, idiot proof, because I feel like I couldn't mess this up. We are going to be using Distress inks today. I know, I'm changing it up from Distress oxides. So the first layer that I put down was spun sugar, and then I'm going to go in with some worn lipstick. I was watching my friend Tara's video, and I know this is the second time I've talked about her with these layering stamps and stencils, but she gave me a great tip. I'm using Bristol Smooth cardstock here, and it's very easy to put the ink on. You can also use watercolor paper to do this, and I did this with another one with watercolor paper, and it comes out amazing because it has a little bit of texture in it. So the paper that I would recommend for this technique is either Bristol Smooth cardstock or watercolor cardstock. And when I did this with watercolor paper, I'm telling you, it was the cheap, like less than $5 ones from the kids craft section at Michael's, and it came out beautifully. So I will post the image on Instagram. It's actually going to a friend of mine for a sympathy card. So once I know that she's gotten it, I'll post it on Instagram so you guys can go over and check it out and check out the texture on the card. It's amazing. We are going to be using the second layer with worn lipstick, and I'm just going back in with that same blending brush. I have different blending brushes for Distress inks and Distress oxides because they are different formulations and you don't want to mix them. So that's the important thing. Even if I wash them in between, I wouldn't use them like that. I would have separate brushes for Distress inks and Distress oxides. So again, very, very easy to line up and look at that shade and depth and dimension. Now, if I were to do this with Copic markers or pencils, it would take me forever. This card was so quick and easy. This would be a great one to mass produce. So you see I'm just putting the magnets back into place, and then I'm using some Mowed Lawn to go over for the more open stencils. If you're ever questioning which stencil to use for what, there is an image on the back of the packaging, but this is 4 stencils and it's pretty easy. The most open one is most likely the one that you're going to use with the lighter color, and then there's one that has more covered, so like this one, there's more of the leaves covered in that, and that's the one that you're going to want to use with the darker color to give it some shading. So I am using Lucky Clover for that last layer, and once I've lined this up, inked it up, and then I pull the mask off, it's one of my favorite things. It's like anytime you unmask something or take the scent off of it, it's just such an, it's like the reaction is awesome. The card just comes together at this point, once I remove this layer. So I hope that you guys feel the same way. Or maybe I'm just weird and I just love when the stencils come off. So look at how gorgeous that is. And that took next to no time. However, what I am going to do is, I thought it looked a little bit plain, so I am going, after Lucy gets off of the screen and walks across my stuff because she had had enough of laying on the desk, I am going to stamp the image out onto some copy paper. And it didn't stamp real great, so I will just use that and just cut around the pieces. I'm going to fussy cut it out because we're going to create a mask to go around the edges with some soft blue. I wanted to give it kind of like a halo look around it. I'm trying to do some clean and simple cards, but I have a lot of trouble with clean and simple. So I will cut that out, and then to make it into a mask, because it's just on copy paper, I'm going to use a very dried out Zig two-way glue pen. And if you guys don't know what Zig two-way glue pens are, when the glue in there is blue, when you first put it on and you know the pen is full, it is regular adhesive. However, when the glue turns white, it's repositionable, so you can create masks. So if you have old Zig two-way glue pens, do not throw them away, because there's just that little bit of the white part of the glue left, and it makes a great pen for masks. I have a bunch of them on my desk that I just pick up and can just put dots down. There's not a ton of glue left in there, but there's no glue that would make it really stick again. You will have to let it dry a little bit because you don't want to put it right on your paper. It may tear it when you try to take it up. So I let it dry a little bit, and then I'm putting it over the image, and now I'm using some tumbled glass Distress Oxide to go around the sides of this. And if I had known that I needed a sympathy card, I probably would have used this one for it, but I pick a sentiment that is not appropriate for a sympathy card. So I'm just going around the edges, trying to fill in those spots. There are a couple of little images, little spots in there, like inside the flowers, that there's a break between the flower and the leaf where I don't have any of the blue in there. I tried to go back in, but because it's a Distress Oxide, it's chalky, and it kind of went a little over the flowers. I notice it. I don't know if any of you guys are going to be able to notice it in the final product. Let me know in the comments if you can. But I just think it looks so, so pretty. Now, if you left the stamp in the MISTI, you could go back over and restamp those black lines to make them really, really sharp. You could heat emboss this image. There are so many different things you could do with this. And these floral images, and you guys know I'm not a floral image person, but the floral images are so versatile that you could do it like this one's for a thank you card, and then I'm also using another one for a sympathy card. So I think that I may be converted to buying these. I do hope that more companies come out with these stamps and stencil layering, because they are so quick and easy. As you can see, this is probably one of the quickest videos I've ever done. If I had to restamp the sentiment, I would move it back over a little bit to the right where I had it before. I think it just looked a little bit better there. And I also stamped it a little bit crooked. Again, these are things, it's handmade, it's not perfect, but it's just one of those things that bothers me, that I'm like, I can't believe I didn't get that perfectly straight, especially with using a stamp positioner tool. But again, handmade. And I feel like every card that I have to do has to have some type of something crooked on there. I never line things up correctly. Like the card panels, I never line up correctly. So anyway, there's the card for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comments and questions, leave them below, and I'll see you guys real soon for another video.